Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. Today we have two replays to show you in the Tier 10 German premium heavy tank, the KAMPFPANZER. Probably said that wrong, but there you go. Now, I've waited to now to do the video in this tank, and that is because the event has ended where you can earn this tank with the chest. And the reason I've waited is because I didn't actually agree with the way you could earn this tank, because essentially you could spend a load of money at the chest to try and earn this tank, and the chances of getting it was very slim. So if you didn't have all the other tanks in the chest bundles, even if you did, the chances of getting it is low, and you could end up spending thousands of pounds and not earning a tank. So I didn't feel like I didn't feel right about doing a video while you could earn it, which might then entice someone, because someone might see the video and think, oh, I really like this tank, and then they could spend a lot of money and never actually get it, and I didn't feel like that was fair to do. So I've waited to now to do the video, and what I will do is briefly go over the tank so you can see what it's about, as it is a new tank, and then I'll get into the gameplay and you can see what the tank can do. So what is this tank? It's a tier 10 German heavy tank, and the best way I can describe this tank is kind of in the middle between a British tier 10 chieftain and a Valor. I would say it's the best way to describe it. It's kind of in the middle of those two tanks. It doesn't have as much DPM as the chieftain does. I think I've got the DPM on this tank to around 3,641 with this setup, where the chieftain's over 4,000. But it does have more DPM than the Valor. You've got 410 alpha on its standard rounds, with 270 APCR penetration on its standard rounds, with 1,334 shell velocity, and 320 penetration on your premium heat rounds with 960 shell velocity. You've then got a good HE rounds with 110 penetration for 525 alpha. One noticeable difference with this tank is it has very good mobility. You've got a top speed of 50 kilometers an hour, and it gets that top speed very well. So it's almost like a heavy medium in that sense, and allowing you to get into positions quickly for a heavy tank, which is really, really nice. It does have decent turret armor, so you can play hold down on those ridge lines where you have 8 degrees of gun depression, not as much as the 10 degrees of a chieftain or a Valor. That's why it's kind of like in between the two tanks. Now, that's probably a brief overview of the vehicle. I'm not gone into too much depth because I'm just going to show you what this tank can do in the video, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so here for replay number 1 then, on Arctic region, where there is 2 enemy artillery and 2 enemy light tanks. We are platooned up with Swindle 321, who is in the Vigilante light tank. So initially we are going to try and push the right hand side. You can see already the top speed, you get to it pretty effectively, and you can move around the map very quickly. That is one of the highlights of this tank. And overall, I think I do actually really enjoy this tank. I think it's actually fairly balanced, if I'm completely honest with you, and it's just a decent heavy tank, which is why it's a shame that it wasn't more freely available to everyone. I think this would have been a fantastic tank to include in a season pass or something like that, on my personal opinion, or at least just give the option for everyone to buy it for a set fee, so they know how much they have to pay to earn it. So already the unlucky machine gets spotted crossing by our friendly teammate Swindle, and he deletes it in the Vigilante because the sidearm of the machine is weak, and you can pen it with the Vigilante, as what's just seen. So we pushed into a good position here where we do have cover support from our friendly artillery. As you can see, they've already started to shoot these tanks which we spotted up, and we also have tank destroyers covering us, so if they do overpoke, in theory our friendly team should be able to put shots into them. We're looking to try and use our 8 degrees of gun depression to get shots in without exposing ourselves too much. We do bounce some shots there, and we manage to squeeze one into the coupler of that machine, putting them onto a 2 or 3 shot to us, more likely a 3 shot to us there. So I want to be careful. I don't want to overpeak too much to get shots into these tanks, just because I know there will be tank destroyers covering them, but we would like to try and get some shots in where we can. The 10 degrees, if you had an achievement or valor here, it would be a little bit easier to hit those shots just because that extra 2 degrees of gun depression. But 8 degrees is still very manageable, and you can see that IS-7 gets tracked there, allowing us to put another shot of damage into him. And we're picking up some juicy bit of spot assistance here as well, already on sort of 1,400 assistance. Our friendly team are now trying to push up with us, and that should help us try and take out these tanks. And now the IS-7 gets taken out, we put one into the cupola again of that machine, putting them onto a 2-shot to us. I'm very careful, I don't want to overextend to shoot this tank, like I say, because I know there will be tank destroyers in the sort of like the G1-2 position, which could get shots into us while we do that. So I've decided, you know what, okay, I've done what I can here, our friendly team have now moved up. I'm actually going to try and relocate, and which I can do with the mobility, and try and find a different angle of attack. And I want to try and push through the riverbed again, and make it so we're attacking from different angles with our friendly team. You can see our friendly platoon mate is doing a good job of spotting the enemy team there. So we're going to move up and try and find a different angle attack. So far, so good. We've lost a little bit of hit points, not too bad, because we managed to get 4 pens of our own and also pick up that assistance as well. Still a close game, but I feel like we've taken a lot of control away from the enemy team, which tends to lead one way basically. When the enemy team gets pincered in the corner, it's always going to be difficult for them to come back from that when you lose complete ground of all the areas of the map. So we're pushing up here, we're going to see if we can spot anything. We do spot an enemy tank destroyer, it doesn't quite have any shots at us. I was just backing up here, I was just being careful I wasn't going to get full sent by him or anything like that. And now I'm going to push up to this ridge where again I can play hold down, see if I can get any shots into the side of this Jag Tiger here, and also just extend my view range, and maybe we can spot the enemy artillery, which we in fact do. And now we're going to look to put a nice shot into that tank, and we also should start to pick up some assistance here for spotting that target. We have spotted to the small mini-map here. You see, we changed that because we want to know if any tanks are going to sneak up behind us. We can quickly react. I don't need a big map at this time because I know where every single tank really is. I just want to know where the small movements are. We tried to get a shot into that light tank crossing. That's where the 8 degrees couldn't quite get a shot in. If it was an achievement, probably would have got a shot in. But a one-shot heavy tank's coming behind us. This is good for us because it allows us to finish him off there. And we pick up some juicy assistance there, putting us onto 3,000 spotting assistance now, with 2,000 of our own damage and 9 tanks remaining. And the enemy team are completely pincered at this point. I feel like this is going to be a win. It's just about getting as much in as we can. I like to squeeze a shot into FV 1005. Unfortunately, it does dirt there and we get a bit unfortunate with that shot. I don't want to eat a big shot off of that tank. It looks like the enemy vigilante is driving around like a crazy man. I may get an opportunity to squeeze another shot into that FV 1005, which we do, and he quickly gets shut down by our friendly gorilla there. And now we're just seeing how much damage we can get out of the remaining shots. Get a lovely shot into that enemy light tank. The enemy artillery is looking to shoot us in this position, but he fires, he misses. There's still one more which might be trying to shoot us here, but at this stage of the game we're just trying to get as much damage now out of the game. It's definitely, I mean, it's going to be a win, let's be honest at this stage. How much can we get though? Enemy light tank is coming behind us. He can pen our rear, which makes it very awkward. He can potentially pen our side as well if he gets in between the tracks. And thankfully he doesn't do that, and we're able to shut him down as he tries to leave, which is nice, picking up our third kill of the game here. With only 2 tanks remaining, or 1 tank now, it's just about can we get some shots in. We get 1 shot in, it'd be nice to pick up another one to just put us over the 4,000 damage mark. We're coming up to 4,000 assistance as well, because this is our spotted target. And we finished that game. I have a really a decent game in the tank. Let's see how we finished off before we move on to replay number 2. We get 3 kills, 4,000 damage, 4,000 assistance, and the ace tanker. So that's it for replay number 1. But one more replay coming up, so I'll see you over there in a bit. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2 on Murovanka then, where there's 1 enemy light tank and 1 enemy artillery. And there's actually quite a few T8 tanks in this lobby. So we have decided that we are going to push the field from this spawn. We have the mobility to do so, and being that there's a lot of tier 8s, if they come this way we should be able to get into the fight quite nicely and hopefully, you know, control and win the field area. We don't really have a lot of support here, so I'm hoping the enemy team haven't committed really heavily on the field, because if they have, we may have to try and retreat. But we're going to see what gets spotted. We're looking to get a shot into his heavy tank as he crosses. Unfortunately, the angle was against us there, and we don't quite pen with the 270 penetration, which is unfortunate. And the second shot, I think, either bounces or doesn't hit, which is not ideal. And we are spotted and was targeted there. But we're going to see if we can get a shot into this enemy heavy tank as he leaves here. But we spot an enemy SU, we get a nice shot into that tank, and thankfully he misses his. And we should be able to get some shots into this heavy tank here. Struggling with the gun depression a little bit there, and we do actually get ammo racked, which is not ideal because it forces us to burn our repair kit straight away. But we do pick up a lot of assistance tank damage there, and straight away on 2,000 or just shy of 2,000 assistance. Now we eat some shots unnecessary there, but we want to push this field aggressively and spot the back of the field. So I want to win this side quickly, because the enemy team could be pushing the other side. They might have the overmatch over there, and I just want to really win this as fast as I possibly can. So I have pushed aggressively here. If I can kill these tanks quicker, sooner than later, limits the enemy artillery, time to shoot at us. I just want to get rid of these tanks. So far so good. We've pretty much won the field. There's one enemy medium tank there, which we should be able to put some shots in. And at this stage, I'm thinking of pushing all the way down to the end of the field so I can get shots on the inevitably tanks, which will be camping in their spawn. And then, if I need to fall back, I can dart across because I have the mobility. But this here is a little bit of a mistake, to be honest. I poke up looking for a shot into this medium tank, looking to try and get punished. And then I should go the safe way. I should go low ground so I don't get shot by the stuff on the hill. And I haven't done that, and I've pretty much paid the ultimate price because I've lost all my hit points. That was unnecessary. I was being greedy, if I'm honest, trying to get shots in that medium. I could have just gone to the low ground where I'd avoided getting shot, and then I could have got shots at that tank in a safer manner than I have, because that's not ideal. I'm on 200 hit points now, but we're still we're still in the game, so we're going to continue playing and trying to get as much out as we can in this situation. It's not over till it's over. It's just put a bit of a making our life a little bit more awkward. But you can see here we have good positioned shots in the tanks, which get spotted on their ridge line now. This is what ultimately I was trying to achieve by winning the field. As soon as you do that, you put the enemy team under a lot more pressure because they can't really play those ridge lines. If they're getting spotted here, I'm getting shots in. It's going to be difficult for me to play aggressively now. I have to kind of change my approach. That is because I'm on 200 hit points, but that sometimes happens, and I just have to accept that and just try and do what I can do. I can't push as aggressively as I'd like to, but I am still hold down, and I'm getting nice shots onto these targets. We're on 3,400 damage, picked up our first kill of the game, and now we're trying to get shots into this enemy Italian tank destroyer here. We do have slim shots. That one doesn't really go true there, but if our tanks, you see our mediums getting underneath their ridge now, that is going to keep them spotted. I'm obviously concerned about this light tank, being the fact that I am a one shot to the light tank. That is, if that light tank dies, I can move up to the next ridge, which will mean I'm more likely to spot some targets. We get a nice shot into that Grom there, putting the Grom onto a one shot. I'm hoping that I will get the kill shot available to me. And I do, putting us onto 4,000 damage with 2,000 assistance. Still a somewhat close game though. I mean, we definitely have the advantage now. Unfortunately, that shot bounces, which is not great, but I do at least get the tiny bit of track assistance. Trying to help our medium tank out while this chieftain who is pushing them here get one shot into him, putting them onto a two shot to us here, and we're trying to get the finish here as we do. Sorry, not chieftain, an Avery, but he does get taken out there. And now we're on 4,500 damage with 2,000 assistance, 4 tanks remaining. That shot only tracks the enemy tank there, which is not great, but hopefully we might get another shot into that tank. The light tank's still alive, but the light tank's pulled back right now to the other side. That does allow us to push up a bit more. At this stage of the game, I do need to get active to get the damage, get a nice shot into that enemy tank there, putting them onto a one shot. I would like to try and get the finish if I can, which I should be able to if I can sort out my gun depression issues there. And we get the finish, picking up our third kill of the game. 3 tanks remaining. This one feels like it's going to be a win now, but how much damage can we get out of the remaining shells? This E4 is facing the other way to us, giving us rear shots into that tank. Can we get a finishing shot in? Yes, we can, picking up our 4th kill of the game. Put us under 6,000 damage, and the enemy light tank is coming in, but we finish him off for the 5th kill, leaving us the one little piggy left to deal with. Now, he can splash us and kill us. We are low hit points, but we're just going for the damage at this point. Maybe I should have swapped to the HE rounds here. You know, I could have penned him with the 110 HE penetration, would have boosted my damage. But I've got 2 shots into him. He does splash us, but not quite enough. Now we know this tank is dead, but can we pick up the top gun? Yes, we can. And we finished that game off strongly with 7,000 damage and 2,000 assistance, picking up the 6th kill, giving us the top gun, and of course confirming the ace tanker there. So a decent game to end off with, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I say, I don't agree with how this tank was earnable, but now the earn up is, you know, now the Christmas event is over, I have done the video in this tank. So there you go. Thank you so much for your support, and as always, happy tanking.
Hadouken!